This is the loading screen.
Hello, folks. It's Aaron leading you in on this episode. I regret to inform you, Jordan is no longer with... Oh, okay, I'm joking. He's right here. He's across the table.
Yeah.
Anyway, how are you doing, Jordan?
Good.
Yeah.
I'm doing just fine.
Just fine.
Just fine.
All right. Wow.
Yeah, just working.
Just working.
I got a short work week. So
Okay.
going out to my mom's lake house
All right.
this weekend.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
4th of July festivities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to drink.
Drink. You doing anything for 4th of July?
Drinking.
Drinking. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
That's all we need to do at American.
I don't know if they're going to have fireworks out there.
Sure.
I think they do, but I think they're on the 3rd.
Ah,
So I think we're going to miss that.
right.
I don't buy fireworks.
Literally burning money.
Literally, you may as well just light it on fire.
I mean, I don't want to ruin any pyro's dreams. Or,
Right.
You know.
If that's what you're into,
Exactly.
I would rather spend my money on video games.
This is true.
60 hours worth of fun
Right.
over 20 seconds.
A whole bunch of explosions can go on
Right.
in those games. You know, whatever you're after,
Right.
you can get it in video games.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Are you doing anything this week for the 4th?
Not entirely sure. I don't have any solid plans. I'm playing it by ear, you know.
Sure.
Uh,
Everyone's invited to Aaron's house. Sounds
yeah,
like.
everybody, come on over. It is. I was gonna give them your address.
Please do not do that, for the love of God.
Yeah. Anyway, should we just dive in on these topics?
Yes.
I guess we got a couple corrections.
We have a few.
For one, I made a flub, so I'm just gonna call mine out right now.
Please do.
Okay, Remedy. They did make Max Payne 2. But they did not make Max Payne 3.
Correct.
But that's the only sequel that they've made since.
It is. But we'll talk about that another thing about them later.
Right. There's some news about Remedy. They're a cool company. I think they're great. I think they're fantastic.
Yes.
More to go into that later.
One that I made
Yeah.
that I can think of is Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Its release date is October 25th. I said October 27th. I did say that wasn't right. The reason why October 27th came to mind is because that is my wife's birthday.
Ah.
So I'm going to buy her that for her birthday.
That makes, yeah. She will enjoy
I
it.
think she will enjoy that quite a bit.
Yeah. Buy you both a copy. You can both play together.
Yeah.
Sure.
That is, if your marriage can't survive a good round of multiplayer.
It'll be cross-platform even. So,
I mean, it's meant to be.
you'd be playing on PC.
Yeah.
Just let her,
On the
have at it on
PS4.
PS4.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. That'd be great.
Yeah. Let's see here. What else we got? Arrowhead Game Studios did develop Magicka for Paradox.
Yes. Last week you talked about they did something with Paradox. What is it? Interactive. You were
Yeah.
right.
Oh,
Once again, you were right.
pulled that one out of the hat again.
Literally.
Yeah.
I mean, you did have the one flub here with Remedy.
Yeah, that's
But,
true.
I mean, to be fair, that one happened several years ago.
Yeah, I'll try to keep those flubs to a minimum.
You were probably about 6. So, we'll let that one slide.
Max Payne 2. When did it come out?
I don't know. I feel like it was a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
Like a long, long time ago.
I want to say it was like early 2000s. I'm just
And
going to
then-
make a general statement. That way I can avoid another flub.
Right. And then I don't know if this was in your intention, but Ready at Dawn, you mentioned wanted to be Naughty Dog.
Yeah, yeah.
And I did some research. I don't know why I did this research.
Yeah.
But apparently Ready at Dawn is made up of people from Naughty Dog.
I actually think I did know that.
Oh, well,
But,
that's not as fun.
yeah.
They're also made up with people, I guess, from Blizzard too.
Yeah, no, they're a really cool company. They obviously struggle on executing in the AAA space.
Yep.
Obviously, they need to fix their development cycle. But 1886 is like, it's a great. It deserves a sequel. So
I agree.
I hope
It deserves a sequel just as much as Days Gone.
yes, it really does.
I think that's fair.
But Sony Bend is also experienced with AAA. Like, they did Siphon Filter games. So.
Sure. Yeah. I will say that in that research for Ready at Dawn, they have recently developed 3 Oculus Rift games that have been received pretty well. Mid-80s Metacritic scores.
That's pretty good.
So, and they're developing another one.
Dude, VR is like...
I don't want to hear about it.
It's like reinventing video games all over again, because
And
there's new
fine.
problems to solve
Sure.
all over again. And
I've heard that the No Man's Sky VR experience is amazing, which doesn't shock me, because that's the exact experience that I would want
right.
from VR. But I'm not in the place where I am willing to purchase all the crap that I would need in order to get that experience.
It's just a $400 headset, Jordan.
Yeah.
Actually, it's cheaper than that usually.
You know what?
There's deals.
July 7th, next week, Ryzen 3 comes out. Zen 2.
Oh, right. Yes.
And the R5 3600 is only $200. And it's supposed to perform according to the benchmarks.
According to AMD.
It's supposed to compete with an i9. i9 like base, like stock levels. Not overclocked, of course.
Was the i9 the answer to the Threadripper?
Yeah, I don't know.
'Cause that's
Was
like-
it?
I thought it was.
Maybe it was. Probably.
But regardless, that's crazy.
It is for $200. So I'll be paying closer attention when those things actually come out and people start releasing actual benchmarks,
Right.
for actual games.
Right.
But I'll be, because like I'm still in limbo on console PC for next gen. And if the R5 3600 for $200 is up there, is like good benchmark wise, I could get a new CPU and motherboard for less than $400.
True.
Just saying. I'm no PC salesman,
But
but
that sounds like a good deal.
that sounds like a crazy good deal. To be fair, I also already own a 1060, so I wouldn't need to buy that.
Yeah.
I may have to buy new RAM, maybe.
Maybe. Beef it up a bit.
Right. And I would probably go SSD. Like, I would officially make the switch to SSD.
Honestly, you should do that before you do anything else.
Probably.
You would be surprised.
No, I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it would be phenomenal.
It's insane, Jordan.
Well, we'll look at that. And then also last week, Housemark is making the BR game. We talked about that,
Yep.
I think, briefly. It's called Storm Divers, and it's supposed to come out sometime this year,
Right.
which is crazy because I feel like,
They missed the BR craze.
right, what the hell are they going to do?
Right. They should hold on to it for like 5 years and then
I-
bring BR back.
I could, this is how I see it playing out. They're going to be like, here's our BR game, and people are going to be like, we're tired of this. We don't want this. And they're going to be like, no, this is different. Here's our battle pass. And everybody's going to be like, God damn it. Like, what could they do?
Exactly.
What could they do that's different?
I have no idea. I mean, it looks interesting. It looks fun. It's a third-person little
Right.
shooter thing, right?
Yes. I went onto their website because they're known for arcade games.
Yeah.
And one of their posts on there, it's very depressing because like their purpose was to
Oh, you're
Keep arcade games alive.
talking about their blog?
Yes.
And they like, there's no market for it.
Yeah, arcade is dead. Like, it just, big bold letter, arcade is dead. And they're like, their last game they made, Next Machina, I think is what it was. They were just like, the sales just aren't there to support this. So we have to go do something else. And they chose BR.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you look at the time when they made that decision, at the time, BR was blowing up.
Right.
But I don't think Fortnite was around. Like, it was around, but it wasn't Fortnite yet.
Right.
So yeah, I'm curious to see what that's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it'll be free to play. I'll play it, but I mean, I also feel bad because it's not like I was really supporting Housemarque outside. Like,
Right.
the last game I bought of theirs was Alienation, which was great.
Yes.
But, and I'm sure their other following games are also equally great, but
I mean, Alienation must have not sold very well, but I just wonder, why not just make another one?
yeah, like,
Or another
exact-
Dead Nation?
Yeah, exactly. They could have been. That's true. They also aren't making sequels. Like, they didn't
Right.
make a Resogun 2. They didn't make a Dead Nation 2. They didn't make a. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't make anything two.
Right.
Like, okay, credit to them to try to, like, step out and do new things, but, like, at some time you have to take one of your successful things
Yeah.
and then be like, oh, here's a new refreshed version of it
Right.
with
No.
like new mechanics and whatever.
Yeah, they could have. I mean, I know Alienation is like an over-the-top shooter,
Yep.
but you can't tell me that you can't flesh that out in a way.
And I thought they were going to. I swear, after, like, I loved that game. When that game first came out, I played it
Yeah.
constantly.
Yeah,
It's
no.
great because it was something that was quick and easy. I loved the top down, the effects, like the visuals were great, and it was like a looter shooter because there was loot involved.
Oh, it was great. Yeah.
It was really great. You could, maximize abilities and all this other stuff.
And then there was like these gem things that you could collect.
Right.
Right.
And then you could, like, if you got enough, you could upgrade it to a more powerful gem. And like the worlds that you were in, you could make them so the enemies were more powerful and they drop more, like, better loot. So it's
Yep.
kind of like Diablo.
And there was like a kind of PvP thing
Yeah.
too, where someone could invade your world.
Right. And
Is
I remember
bonkers.
watching a stream with Housemarque shortly after the game was released, and they said that they had plans for post-launch stuff. And they didn't really do anything.
No.
Like, they released a few, like, cosmetic things that you could buy, but they didn't do much beyond that.
No, I think you're exactly right. I feel like if they would have taken another chance to make it a sequel and just build upon what they've already built, it would have
It would yes.
made it
exactly.
better. But
Yes. So it's kind of weird. I mean, I kind of hope, because I personally kind of like the idea that they're trying to maintain, like, this arcade feel. I think it'd be kind of cool to see them, like, in their way, like, meld Battle Royale with, like, an arcade type of thing. I think that would be interesting. I don't know if that's real, but
Storm Divers is not gonna be that.
no.
From the gameplay I've seen, it like
Yeah, I know you mentioned the gameplay last week, and I didn't look for it. Maybe I will tonight while
Well,
editing, but
I just don't feel how. I mean, when you've got things out there that are Apex and Blackout
mhm.
and what else? Fortnite, obviously, but I'm just thinking about the other stuff that they're trying to draw off of.
Well, and then you have PUBG, and then apparently that developer, they announced that they're coming out with another PUBG. Like, I don't know if it's a sequel or whatever, but they announced that they're coming out with another game. And from what I read, it sounded like it was going to be a BR game. I don't know if it's literally going to be called PUBG 2.
Yeah.
But
That game could use a retool of
Well,
the
and
mechanics.
they tried. they had a huge patch where it updated visuals and it looked so different, but apparently it didn't like fix the gameplay.
No, the mechanic it is literally the most clunky mechanics.
No, I used to watch people play it on Twitch, and yes,
it gets
you can
frustrating.
tell. You can tell.
Yeah, no, like going up to a window, trying to go through the window, like nothing is smooth about that. Like,
Yeah.
you know how in Call of Duty, and not that I want to say Call of Duty is the gold standard in mechanics, but at least
That's
you could
what I'm
go
hearing.
up to a window and you know that you would mount through it.
You're gonna
and-
glide right through it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there's none of this like clunky like. Yeah.
It's not like where your character stops and then your camera goes up and then like out and then down and then you're back to running.
Right. No. But PUBG's mechanics are just so bad, not smooth at all. But whatever.
Whatever.
Hopefully they fix that in their next iteration. Then
I would imagine. It'd be hard to imagine that they won't, because they've still probably made a ton of money.
Oh, I'm sure.
So
Didn't the guy that, like the player unknown guy,
he
left?
well, I think he still works at the company, but he's not making
I thought he left.
PUBG games.
Oh,
I think he might.
I thought he
I don't
left
know.
Blue Point.
He may have, but I know he's not working on PUBG
Right.
anymore, and he has no interest in it.
Huh.
So
He's like, BR's over, guys.
yeah,
Get over it.
I'm out of here. I'm gonna go make.
I'm working on the next thing.
I'm gonna make an arcade game. All right, let's get to an email
Yeah.
from David.
Is it a limited time offer?
What?
Through spam?
Oh yeah, we've
Do
been
we-
contacted by the Prince of Nigeria.
Wow.
Yeah, he said that if all of our listeners give him $500, he will send us $500 million.
Yahtzee.
So I figured this was a perfect opportunity where if everybody gives $500 and we get the $500 million, we will give $1 million to all of you,
That makes sense.
right?
Exactly.
Net gain.
Net gain.
So there you go, David. No, David asked a very good question. I
Yes.
liked this question quite a lot. He says, "Howdy, Jordan and Aaron.
Howdy, David.
Howdy. Long-time listener, first-time emailer. This is not a correction or anything, but I was curious if you two had any news on Project Session or Skater XL. Are they still coming out on console? Any new updates or on release dates? Any news at all? I know you guys have topics you want to talk about, but I was wondering on your guys' opinion on why extreme sports games, skateboarding, snowboarding, etc., are not as big as they were 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So, before we get to the last question, let's talk about the first two games he brings up. So, doing some digging,
Yeah.
and I will say Project Session was a little bit tougher than Skater XL. Because Skater XL, I'll talk about that one first. That one's in early access right now.
Okay.
It's on Steam for $16.
Steal.
Right. It came out in December of last year. And the developer Easy Days Studio has said that they are not talking about console releases until they're out of early access. Makes sense.
That's smart.
It is.
Wow.
But when you go on Steam and you look at the game, it does say that a controller is required to play the game. So I would imagine that it would be a pretty simple port.
Right.
Pretty, like, I feel like that's just something that they're going to do. But that's about all that there is to say about Skater XL. Okay?
Yep.
So Project Session was renamed Session a couple years ago and had a trailer at Microsoft's E3 2018 conference. And I'm pretty sure I remember that because I'm pretty sure that was the trailer that they showed and the chat blew up thinking that it was Skate.
Right.
That EA title, Skate 3, I think is what people are wanting.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't. It was this game. So that one is actually set to be released sometime this year,
Gotcha.
but nothing specific. So there's not really any news on any of those games. If you want to play Skater XL right now, you can on Steam.
On Steam.
So there you go.
Cool.
So now let's talk about his other question on why aren't these games as popular? And I have an answer, but I'm going to let you go first. What do you got?
Yeah, I think the market kind of decides whether it's worth building for, and I'm just going to answer this as, is WWE as popular as it once was?
I mean, they get yearly games still from 2K.
But are they like produced as often? Are they selling as well as they once did back in the day? But
probably not.
But what I'm trying to get at is that I feel like, the market, I don't feel like extreme sports is nearly as popular as it was when I was in high school, or, most people, and I'm willing to bet that even high schoolers today aren't really watching extreme sports, and they don't have their own Tony Hawk anymore. Like, I'm not hearing any names about this legendary skater, So Tony Hawk inspired people, and I don't really feel like we're getting that inspiration from, today's competitors. There's not like a name brand that you could slap onto a cover anymore. And I really think that's probably the main reason that we're not getting it, is just, that competitive space doesn't have an icon anymore.
I agree with you 100%. That was my answer. My answer was, look, there's not a Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
And I'll take this a step further and say EA used to have an extremely popular golf game. Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods PGA Tour.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods is not the commodity he used to be. When's the last time you heard EA make a golf game? They tried.
Didn't he just have like a championship?
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of back now that his back isn't broken or whatever, and he's not cheating on his wife and stuff like that. He's playing some good golf again.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's not nearly at the level that he once was.
That's correct. Yeah.
So like, an EA tried, and I think they probably still make a golf game, but it's just not every year.
Right.
Like they had, I think Rory McIlroy.
Yeah, yeah.
And then like they tried that, and then they had one that had two people on it, because they're like, one of these people has to be good. Like, people have to like one of them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then that didn't do well. So right now, when you look at golf games, there's, I think there's one called like Project Golf, or whatever, something like that. And I don't know, a bunch of just like weird kind of off brands. So yeah, like it's the same thing with golf as these skating games.
Oh yeah.
Because like you look at Steep, didn't Steep just get a sequel recently?
Yeah.
Steep 2?
Did it?
I think so. I'm pretty sure I heard something about it.
Maybe it got announced.
Yeah. But I mean, so there's still that. But it's good, like, to me, that's where those games are at, is that you get a game every like 5 years.
I'm also going to mention that like the skater games, they require like a lot of like dedication. Like, not dedication necessarily, like they're fun, but if you're going to go for like the high scores and get all these combos, like you have to remember these things. So there has to be a little bit of practice involved, and I just don't feel like people are willing to put in the effort anymore. It's like fighting games. Like, fighting games used to be very popular.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, exactly. Like,
yeah.
Soul Calibur, but again, they require that effort.
And if you pay attention to fighting games, Street Fighter, like the latest Street Fighter, a lot of the hardcore players are complaining about that game because Street Fighter's trying to appease to the not as hardcore, and they're making the game easier.
Right.
So the hardcore players that are like competing at like a high level are starting to not like it anymore because it's just too easy.
Right.
So, yes.
Yeah, no, I mean, that game...
You can't make these skating games too easy to the people, for the hardcore players, because then they won't like it because it's too easy to master.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
No, I mean, it makes sense, but that's kind of where the skating games feel like to me, is like, they require a certain level of mastery. People just aren't willing to put in that level of mastery anymore.
Did you play the Tony Hawk games?
I played them at like a friend's house. So
I can't remember which one, but I had one of the Tony Hawk ones, and it was fun. I unlocked everything in that game. I had all I had all the skins. I remember I had Spider-Man.
Yeah,
that was sweet. That was so fun. But yeah, like as soon as Tony Hawk kind of fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet you could grab some teenager today, be like, "Who the fuck's Tony Hawk?" and he would have no idea.
Probably not. I remember when I was in like junior high, that's when it was like at its peak.
Yeah,
you had people with, Tony Hawk shirts and all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
he made it famous.
No, yeah, skateboarding was cool.
Yeah,
it was.
He hit the 900. If you really want to go back, skating started to decline after he hit the 900, because it's like, where do you go from there? So it's interesting that the rise of skating is, you give Tony Hawk the credit, but Tony Hawk is also the person that kind of killed it, because everyone else is like, well, he did the 900.
Yeah.
And it's impossible to do much more than that.
I mean, you could say the same thing about Shaun White killing the half pipe then.
Yeah.
So, or the snowboarding, but yeah.
Right.
Changing topics, totally different.
Right. Well, I mean, he does bring up snowboarding games in this question. So. Yeah. There you go. There's your answer.
Did they ever make a Shaun White game?
Probably. Well, because he was supposed to be like the next guy.
Yeah.
Like he was I remember I used to have Sports Illustrated for kids way back, and it would be Tony Hawk and Shaun White, and like here's the guy, and then here's the next guy.
Well, Shaun White competed in the Olympics for so long.
Oh yeah.
So like, because he was in the last one, wasn't he?
Yep. In the last, Winter Olympics, yeah.
And I mean, you have to think about it. Like, if you go to 3 Olympics, that's 12 years.
Yep.
I think he went to 4.
Yeah.
So that's
probably
16 years. That's a long time.
The real thing is why didn't anybody ever make a swimming game with Michael Phelps on it?
Still time.
That's the real question here. No one capitalized on that.
Yep. It'd be a great VR game, I think. 2 move controllers.
Yeah, that wouldn't look ridiculous. Man, your shoulders would be burning after that play session. All right.
I'm awful at swimming, so I would drown in that game. VR would make it like too
real.
This is a horror game. Ah!
The VR can tell when I'm holding my breath. Gotta hold my breath so I can go faster.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you, David, for the email. Again, if you want to be a part of the show, this is the loading screen at gmail.com.
Yep. It's
going to be in the description, as easy as clicking on it. There you go. David did it.
We expect more emails.
David's a smart kid.
Yeah.
So there you go. Very good question. So thank you for that. Also, I guess I should mention this now, but we actually have Twitter now.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Twitter, but it's a social media website.
Yeah.
And it's totally free.
Tweeting.
You can follow people, and you get to see what they say.
Weird.
And then you can respond back.
Scary.
Yeah. You don't want to cross over into the political realm of Twitter.
No.
From what I understand.
That's gross.
So if you won't find that with our Twitter.
Right.
Not at all.
No politics unless tariffs go on video game consoles.
Correct.
Then we're going to talk about
and
that.
then we will. But until that actually happens, we're going to hold off on that topic.
All right. That's fair.
But yes, our Twitter is, after numerous attempts to find a proper Twitter handle.
Yeah.
because believe it or not, the loading screen is pretty common. So it is at loading screen PC. And no, that does not mean personal computer. Just means podcast. Aaron here thought it meant personal computer.
I was like, whoa, Mr. PC.
Whoa, PC Master Race.
Yeah. I think we should have called it PS4, Xbox.
Yeah. You can only use like 15 characters.
The loading screen. Console.
Console PC. But yeah. So if you want to reach out to us that way, you can do that too.
Yeah.
But the email thing's probably easier because, again, it's in the description. So yeah, let's get on to the news.
On to the news.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's talk about Stadia.
Yep.
So Phil Harrison comes out. Phil Harrison is, of course, the guy that's in charge of Stadia.
Uh-huh.
He says that Stadia exclusives will aim to be as fun to watch as they are to play. And I was like, wow, Phil. That's great. Thank you for saying what anybody's going to say. Like, when I read that, I was just like, in what? Like, everyone's trying to do that. Everyone is trying to make it as fun to watch as it is to play. It's not giving me a reason to use Stadia.
I hate that sentence. There's nothing about that gets me excited. Not even a wiggle. Like,
well, and I guess there's also a problem with that because if you think about it, like, you could have a great game, but if Phil stands there and is like, this is not fun to watch, but the player's like, this is a ton of fun. I'm having a load of fun. And he's like, no, this is boring to watch. It needs to be fun, more fun.
So
because like
if
The Last
he
of
says
Us,
that statement, I'm gonna assume that if it's not fun to watch, then it must not be fun to play.
yes. So let's look at The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Great game,
Right.
fun to play.
Yeah.
Is it fun to watch someone else play that game? I wouldn't.
It's got a great story.
I mean, it does.
There's actually like I think on YouTube someone just pretty much cut out all the like the cutscenes and the dialogue, made like a 3-hour pretty much movie out of it.
Uh-huh.
So, and like they did it so it's like a perfect playthrough, so you don't like miss dialogue also.
Sure.
So you could technically watch The Last of Us without having to play it.
That's
But
cool.
That is cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So you could say that's fun to watch, maybe.
Maybe. Anyways, I hated that statement. And it spoke to me in a way that it's just like, you're a dick. Like, I don't like you because I can kind of feel where your intentions are with this whole deal. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Like, I already don't like the fact that you have to pay a subscription for this service and then you still have to pay full price for these games.
Yes.
Like, I don't like that at all.
No.
And it's not even like you're streaming them, so you're not even getting the best experience from that game.
Yeah.
There are no words. Like, I'm someone that I want competition. I want people to like get in here. I want Microsoft to do well. I want Nintendo to do. I want all these people to do well because it pushes everyone, you know. But God, there's no way this is gonna work.
No, yeah.
No
I mean,
way.
I'm sure we'll get to a point where streaming technology feels great. Yeah, I don't think we're there yet.
No.
You know, I mean, I've used the internet recently. It's still hiccups.
Yep.
Has issues.
Yeah.
As big as Google is, I don't think they're going to be able to. Yeah, they can't solve some of these problems.
I don't think Google is as cool as they think they are.
No.
So, anyways, let's move on to Epic.
Yes.
Tim Sweeney shared his thoughts on the strategy behind exclusives on the Epic Games Store. It's been a hot topic. He believes that this is a quote, that it's the only strategy that will change the 70-30 status quo at a large scale to permanently affect the gaming industry. So again, we talked about this before, but the 70-30 scale, of course, is if you buy a game from Steam or on console, the developer and publisher, I guess, gets 70% of that sale.
Mm-hmm.
And the console or Steam,
Platform holder.
platform, right, gets 30%.
Right.
Whereas Epic, they take 12%.
Right.
So a pretty significant cut. He also recognizes that there will be bumps on the road and is, again, quote, committed to solving all problems that arise for gamers and for our partners. So he kind of like, they kind of had a Q&A thing, but he was basically talking about how the price of games and the cut that people are taking from developers is basically cutting out their profit to make other games. So he believes that he's doing a big service for the game industry. And he realizes that it doesn't come across that way, but he's willing to take that hit in order to do this. So he's committed. He's committed to it.
Okay. Cool.
So, I mean, who knows? Maybe he's right. And maybe this will all change and everybody will be happy. Because he even goes on to say that games could potentially be cheaper. Because you're going to have the natural competition of people are going to, like, developers are going to want you to buy these games. And they'll be able to make their games cheaper because they're taking more of a cut from the sales. So he goes into that. But
I mean, yeah. And listen, I'm just going to let the market play itself out the way it wants to play itself out. But I'm not saying that 30% is totally unfair to the platform holder.
right.
Because whatever Joe Smo company gets to sell their game on Steam's platform, Steam then has to deal with everything else afterwards. Like the customer, deletes the game, reinstalls the game, buys a different computer, deletes the game, reinstalls the game, they have to manage all of this, and they are literally providing a service that does not end
Right.
after your sale. So how is the developer themselves, going to, like, they couldn't do it themselves, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Unless they were to, have them download it directly off their website. Like, if that's the case,
They would basically have to provide their own launcher at that
right.
point.
Do you constantly want to manage the keys for your customers? Do you want to manage payment processing? Do you want to manage all of this other stuff? Do you want to manage anti-cheating software that Steam runs on multiplayer games? Like, they are running, like, the platform's running more as a service. Like, I know you can't see it, but they do stuff behind the scenes that you
Right.
probably are taking for granted.
Well,
So-
and Steam also has, like, their community stuff that they have. So, like, there's communities that have formed on Steam over these games.
Right.
And it kind of... So this might be overanalyzing a little bit, but, like, a community, like, really, in my opinion, provides... Like, even after a game kind of is done with, like, even if you're done with a game, a community, like, keeps that alive for you.
Yeah.
Where, like, you can talk to people still about it, and you're just like, yeah, I loved that game. And it just, that love for that game continues on. And then if you come out with a sequel for that game, that person, like, is going to be front and center, like, yeah, this game is sweet. And then they're with that community. Everybody in that community is pumped. And that's got to drive sales.
Right.
Because you're just like, I want to continue to be in this community of people that play this game and love this game. And Steam provides that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. They manage review systems. They do a lot,
They do a lot.
to be quite honest.
They do.
And I don't know whether, obviously, the developer doesn't feel like that's worth 30%. I think it's a fair rate. Like, when you think about it,
Sure.
because the developer's not going to go through all the work of building their own platforms unless you're Epic, who obviously did.
Right. Unless you make a game that's making billions of dollars.
Right.
Or millions or whatever.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
I agree. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, this is something that's going to be in the this is a long haul thing. And Epic has proven to be very aggressive with their exclusives. So,
But what, okay, I mean, like, what happens, let's say 5 years from now, Epic decides, hey, we don't want to do the store anymore. The first year was great, but every year after that, we're not making any money. What happens to your games?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know. It would be really interesting to see if they become bigger and bigger, to see if that 12% cut is like, oh crap, we can't sustain this off that model.
Yeah.
And they have to they would have to go back and say, okay, we need more of a cut than what we're getting.
Right.
That would be interesting. Also extremely funny.
That would be hilarious.
I mean, it's just like I'm not saying that you can't challenge the normals, the norms of an industry, but at the same time, 30% has been
pretty standard.
Pretty standard across the board, probably for a reason.
Right.
Like there's been a lot of trial and error, I would imagine, with what numbers work. You don't like Sony, Microsoft, Valve, they have like accountants and people that know these numbers that are like, we can't sustain this unless we're making this.
Right.
So
I'm sure someone would have been like, oh yeah, we could undercut them and get developers and publishers if we did it at 25% or if we did it at 20%. But
right. Well, and he even recognized that, there's been several other storefronts that have challenged Steam and tried to do other things, but they can't. Like, I think he said the best that any other storefront's done is 5% market share. Like they've taken 5% away from Steam, which is nothing. And like you don't hear about them. You don't hear about those other market.
Good old games,
right? Like you just don't. So let's go next one.
Yeah.
Level 5.
Level 5.
I was excited about this one.
Yeah.
Ni no Kuni is getting another game. Woo! It's good, man. Also, good. I don't know if we talked about it, but the original Ni no Kuni is getting remastered.
Are you excited about that?
Yeah. It's a great game.
I never played it.
It's a great game. That is a great story. It's actually super sad. Super sad.
I don't know if that makes me want to play it.
No, you want to play video games to be sad.
Yeah.
But no, it's a super good game. But yeah, so that's according to Level 5's president. And that came from an interview where they discussed the delays of two games. Two games that are likely just games like Japanese games. Probably won't get seen here. And they're actually re-examining their entire development process.
Ooh.
They do not take delays very, very lightly there. They have two delays and they're just like, whoa, we got to look at stuff here. We're not performing very well. And they're also coming out with a Ni no Kuni movie. In Japan, though. Which I'm actually kind of disappointed by.
Because it's not coming here?
Yeah.
That is a bummer.
That is. I'd be curious. I'd watch it. I mean,
you have to learn Japanese, Jordan. So,
you can watch. No, I would expect English dub.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying. So on the topic of video game movies or whatever, because there's also The Witcher on Netflix coming out here soon. Did you see the picture of The Witcher?
Yeah,
it looked weird.
It does. I also don't feel like they can fully portray how CD Projekt likes to the amount of sex and violence.
I don't know. We'll see. But it looked weird. They did not pick... I mean, I've been wrong about this before, but I don't think they picked the right guy.
No. No.
I just don't. Like, because it's is it Geralt or Geralt? It's Geralt.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's Geralt.
Sure. I think it's Geralt. Let us know in the email.
I thought it was
or
with
on
a
Twitter.
J. I thought it was more with a J.
I don't know. I think I've always pronounced it Geralt.
I think it's Geralt.
Maybe it is. Anyways, he has a very distinct voice. And is this actor going to try to mimic that? Because just looking at this guy, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. And if he tries, I think he's going to look kind of weird. I don't know. I mean, I'll watch it, but anyways,
It's the Superman guy,
I think so.
Henry Cavill.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know.
I mean, he's built
He is.
so.
But then again, it's The Witcher. He's covered in armor.
Yeah, he's also.
He also only has one sword in the picture they showed.
Yeah.
And anybody that knows anything about The Witcher should have two. One for
Right.
demons and one for humans. Anyways,
He's kind of a high profile actor,
I mean,
though.
right. And I'm pretty sure, looking at the cast list for that show, they actually have a pretty good cast
Yeah.
of like recognizable names.
Right.
Um.
They're trying to get on that GOT.
Oh, for sure.
Like
Netflix needs something.
People.
They're
love-
losing The Office. They are.
I know. 2021.
Yeah.
It's over.
It's over. We'll see. I mean, that'll be interesting to see how many people just say, well, Netflix is pointless.
Yeah. What else is there to watch?
I mean, Netflix is getting better with their originals. Stranger Things season 3 this weekend.
Yeah. That's
Well,
true.
on the 4th, I guess.
I have Netflix, but I don't watch it. Like,
I'll give you a few. I'll give you a few movies and stuff that I think are good.
it's not even that. I'm just not a TV person. Like,
That's fair. I got rid of my PlayStation View.
yeah, like Stranger Things is good, and it's not that I'm not interested. I'm just not a binger, even really.
Sure.
Like,
Fair.
I immediately I start watching, then I just get tired, and I'm
Bored.
like, I could be playing video games right now.
Fair enough. So this next topic will fit in right with you. But Final Fantasy's coming out with a TV series.
Yeah. Again,
I feel like this is right down, but this is right up your alley here.
I think I'd rather play the game.
Maybe. Well, sorry, I just got a text. I got a text from my wife saying that there are 2 flies flying around right now upstairs.
Better take care of that.
So it's being produced by Sony Pictures Television and Hivemind Productions. Hivemind is making the Netflix Witcher series. But Square Enix is also involved, obviously. And the game will be based off of the popular MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV, which is what got me excited about that series. I don't play Final Fantasy XIV at all anymore, but I did for a very long time. And they obviously just had their new Shadowbringers expansion, which I hear is very, very good. But I will be very interested to see where that show lands, because I will watch it.
Was it Final Fantasy VII that had a movie?
They had a movie. I think it was more closer to Final Fantasy X.
Was that it?
Yeah, because it was. Yeah,
I remember.
and then they came out with like a movie, Kingsglaive or whatever.
I remember
right
watching
before
it when I
15
was
came
younger. Oh yeah, no, they came out with like a movie that was just called Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
I mean, it was all right. It was whatever.
but I never saw it.
I could have swore they came out with one that was related to one of their series. I thought it was Final Fantasy VII. Maybe not.
Maybe, I don't know.
But anyway, I remember.
I know we have.
I remember thinking the graphics were incredible.
Right. I know we have at least one very. He loves Final Fantasy.
He'll call us out.
So please do call us out. Correct us.
Email us.
School us on Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Please.
He bought, I'm pretty sure he told me he bought the Final Fantasy, like the Final Fantasy remake. He bought like the $300 one for the little
That's impressive.
on the motorcycle or whatever.
Collector's item.
Hey man, he loves Final Fantasy.
You love it.
Yeah, go for it.
Exactly.
Let's talk about Apex Legends.
Apex Legends making a comeback, season 2.
New season 2.
Yep.
Started today. I heard that the download for it was 16 gigabytes.
Wow.
That's a large download.
Watson? That's
Yep.
the new character.
Yep. You have to say it like that too. They also talked about how challenges are going to work and ranked play, and it sounds super fun. Like, I am so tempted to just play.
Oh yeah, no,
The ranked system looks very cool.
yeah,
Like, it's based off of RP, which is very similar to League of Legends, and I love that system. I think it's a very good system. I actually wish Destiny would implement that type of a system. They kind of do, but it's not as clean, I guess. But yeah, it sounds super cool. They said that I think they said that there's like 200 like daily challenges, and they're easy to do. Like,
I like that.
You play as one character for one match, so on and so on. And then the weekly challenges are obviously a little bit more of a time sink, but then you can stack your challenges.
no,
So,
I love that. Like,
Yeah.
then I can come back on the weekend and just
Yeah.
knock out like everything out.
Yep. So yeah, I'm actually pretty excited. As someone that has really only, kind of dunked my toe in to Apex, I think that sounds super fun, and
Yep.
I think that'll be a good option for me. Like, if Destiny kind of hits if I'm not necessarily in the Destiny mood, just kind of jump over to that. So yeah, that started today.
Yeah.
Very cool stuff. Farming Simulator 2019. I bring this up because I think you talked about it last week.
Yeah.
And
Not last week. It was a couple episodes.
sure. And you brought up their 250,000 I guess pound, because it's over in Europe,
Yeah.
like tournament thing that they got going on.
Esports League.
Yes. That game has sold over 2 million copies.
Why not?
2 million copies.
Why not?
There are not to say that this is not a legitimate video game, but there are legitimate video games out there that don't sell that.
No.
Like, if anybody knows what the Tales series is, Bandai Namco
Yeah.
JRPG game, that game has come out, like, I think there are 12 or 14 games into that series. That game just reached like the 10 million mark as an entire series. It might be slightly higher than that, but it's like that kind of a threshold.
Man, they are just killing the farm game simulator market
And they've come out
share.
with the Farm Simulator for like the last 5 years.
It's insane. No, that's I feel like it's one of those games that people like buy as like a novelty, as a joke. They're like, yeah, let's buy Farming Simulator.
Are you sure? Do you think?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna doubt that, just because I want the image of someone like getting home, long day at work, just grueling day at work,
Puts on the straw hat.
and just goes downstairs, and he has like this like a chair like you would have in a tractor,
Yeah.
and he just sits down. He's got his overalls on, and he just starts playing.
Puts on the straw hat, puts a piece
Yeah,
of wheat in his
even
mouth.
better, some like blue collar CEO.
Yeah.
Just like, all right, honey, it's been a long day at work. I'll be downstairs, putting on his hat.
No, I'm telling you, man, like if they could figure out a way that people could just like control farm equipment remotely,
Oh man,
gosh. Then you get paid for how like good you are. You actually get like freaked out when
I gotta say,
you can't harvest your crops.
I mean, I gotta say, 250,000 pounds, which is, I mean, I think the conversion rate to dollars, like American dollars, is pretty similar.
Yeah.
From what I understand. But how long of a time investment do you think it would be to be at that level for that game? My question is should I invest my time trying to become an esport farming simulator gamer?
I mean, maybe, Jordan, but that number doesn't matter to me. You have to tell me how much it's worth in bushels.
A lot. I don't know. I don't know what bushels go for. I live in Nebraska, and I probably should. Do you ever watch the news and they go through like the stock of like
and now commodities?
Yeah, and they go through it and they're just rattling them out. I'm like, God, why?
Yeah.
That's when you know you live in Midwest Nebraska.
Yeah.
Talk about your
New
crop yields.
New York's just focusing on Wall Street. Meanwhile, in Nebraska, they're like, commodities.
Soybeans are trading for $5. All right, let's talk about Games Done Quick. Games Done Quick does, I think, 4 events every year.
Right.
It would make sense because I'm pretty sure they do a winter, spring, summer, fall.
Right.
They raised $3 million in 1 week, which is a record. They reached over $900,000 more than they did last year for the charity Doctors Without Borders.
That's impressive.
It's great. And that comes a week after Guardian Con raised I think I mentioned last week that they raised 3.7, which is true,
Lupo.
but that's combined over other events that they've had. So they didn't raise 3.7 in 1 week.
Is Dr. Lupo part of Doctors Without Borders?
I don't think so. I don't know if he is.
That's a definite no, everyone. That was a joke.
Yes. He does live in Nebraska, though.
I know that is actually kind of impressive.
Yeah.
One of my, I don't have a favorite streamer. I'm not really following that.
He's a good streamer to watch.
Yeah, no.
He's very chill.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say he's actually more entertaining. He's definitely gives off a different vibe than Ninja.
Yes.
I'll say that.
100%.
And I cannot stand Ninja.
Right.
He's
If
bitchy.
Dr. Lupo is listening to this, we would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Because that'd be awesome. You're a celebrity.
A celebrity, Nebraska icon.
Yeah, you are the pride of Nebraska, outside of Scott Frost.
And not Warren Buffett.
Yes. Who's Warren Buffett? I'm just kidding. All right, let's talk about something that we were kind of teasing earlier with Remedy.
Yes.
So Remedy gained the rights over Alan Wake.
Who the rights belonged to Microsoft.
Correct. So Alan Wake was published by Microsoft around 9 years ago. And the really interesting thing is that Remedy pitched a sequel to Alan Wake to Microsoft. And while it wasn't said that Microsoft necessarily said no, obviously nothing came of that.
Actually, what did come of it is Microsoft funded Quantum Break.
Fair point.
But
so
it's not a critically acclaimed game like
right,
Alan
because that was a game that they try to tie into their TV
yeah
box.
It was weird.
Yeah, it was like a cross between you would be playing a video game and then a cutscene would be like a television thing.
Yeah, I remember seeing it and I was like, it's like Microsoft's ruining a great concept right here. It just felt like it was forced.
Oh, yeah. I don't think Remedy wanted to do that.
No. But part of me thinks that, because there was, some sort of supernatural powers in it.
Yeah.
I feel like it kind of is related to Control.
Maybe.
Quantum Break, the ideas that, spurred off of Quantum Break kind of delved into Control a little bit. But, yeah.
Sure.
Anyway.
So, okay, Remedy man.
Yeah.
Remedy fan. So last week we talked about Remedy and Sony talking to each other, Remedy going over to Naughty Dog and Insomniac, potential partnership going on, and then out of nowhere, Alan Wake is now, they get the publishing rights to that game.
Yeah.
So tell me,
I mean, I hope that there is something amok.
Something amok. This is the type of analysis that people love.
I mean, it is just, there's a lot. This is obviously all speculation, but I would hope
It's what we're here for.
that Remedy is
Speculation.
trying to put Alan Wake on another platform. That's the only reason I can think of why they would want to buy the publishing rights.
Alan Wake remastered.
Right. It could be on a PlayStation platform. Could end up on Epic Game Store. Who knows anymore at this point.
Very easily could.
But yes, I would also hope that it also means that there's an Alan Wake 2 in the making. But well, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yes,
Maybe.
we will wait and see. So we joke about it, but you are often right about a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, I think about them a lot, you know?
So time is only a factor here before we know that these things are real.
It would be killer if Alan Wake 2 was on PlayStation.
Exclusively?
At least timed.
Yeah,
Something. That would be awesome.
sure.
But who knows?
I mean, there's definitely a fan base for it.
It just blows my, like, it's just frustrating because Microsoft, who puts on this persona that they're about games, are like, they get approached by a video game company and they're like, we want to make this video game. And it's a critically acclaimed video game called Alan Wake. And Microsoft is like, no, let's not make that video game. What else you have? Because it obviously didn't fit their...
What they wanted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know.
We'll
I'm
see.
a little worried about the companies that Microsoft purchased and if they're going to really let them have free reign, you know,
Mm-hmm.
to develop the games that they want to develop, or if Microsoft's going to be like Microsoft and be like, nah, the people really want this. And then
It really does sound like I read a lot of news,
yeah,
and it really does seem like Microsoft, the people in charge of the studios,
yeah,
they're very standoffish. Like, they go around, they look at the games and stuff like that, but it seems like their relationship with the developers is very much like a Sony relationship to their developers.
that's good. And I mean, it's not like, I mean, Sony has also culled some of their developers that they feel weren't making the cut anymore.
Yep.
You know, I mean, we lost Zipper, we lost Evolution, who I felt Evolution was a great studio.
Yep, they were.
You know, I mean, I know they only made one type of game, but
They were good at it.
yeah, I loved the MotorStorm series, so I was sad to see them go.
Yeah.
But it's understandable after the flop that was Drive Club. Like,
Yeah. There was no saving that.
it was just so bad. But whatever.
Whatever. It's a racing game that ran at 30 FPS. all you
Jordan
need.
has nothing more to say.
That's all you have to say. That's that is unacceptable. That can't.
But the leather looked like real leather,
I
Jordan.
don't care. I don't give a shit. Grand Theft Auto 6 apparently leaked and is a next-gen game.
Surprise.
Next-gen only game. The leak was on Reddit. Seemed pretty legit because there was a lot of details about it, and apparently the person that made the post, it has a pretty good track record with things like this. So the leak claims that the game takes place in the 70s and 80s, with locations being in Vice City and a new fictional place based off of Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah, that'll be
That'll
good
be cool.
setting.
There is one playable character. If you played GTA 5, there was 3. So now there will be 1, and he's a male. Apparently there was leaks going around that said that it was a female, but it's not.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. And then the game is heavily inspired based off the Netflix series Narcos. And apparently you play as like an aspiring drug lord,
Right.
which
Obviously.
isn't that all Grand Theft Auto games essentially?
Yeah. At some point.
I mean, at some point you're dealing drugs.
I know it's called Grand Theft Auto,
Right.
but you're in the drug business.
You are in the drug business.
You would think it's a game about stealing cars, but it's much deeper than that, Jordan.
I swear.
It's about killing prostitutes.
Right. There's going to be... I feel like this scene is in every Grand Theft Auto game. You get to a dock. There's a boat that you steal. And then a character goes down into the hull of the boat. And you hear the dialogue. There's a bunch of cocaine down here.
Yeah.
I feel like that's in every single Grand Theft Auto game.
Yep.
You tell me which one that it's not in,
No, that's
and I'll tell you you're probably wrong.
That's probably accurate.
So yeah, probably going to be in this next one too.
Quick piece of discussion. So Grand Theft Auto 5, yeah, you change characters.
Yep.
Did you ever feel like you played the game differently based on which character you were? I know
No.
they have different abilities, but
No.
did you do different things?
Nope.
Okay, that's fair.
Did you?
Yeah.
What did you do? I feel like we're about because one of those characters was black.
No, nothing.
What did
nothing,
you do?
Nothing really like that. But I really only hung out in I really only
The
killed...
rich place with the one guy.
No. Who's the menace that drives the ATV and
The bald guy.
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like his name was Randy.
I felt like since he was such a menace, he's the person that I would go on the huge killing sprees with.
Oh no, I didn't play that way at all.
You know, so I'm like, man, this guy's a menace. I'm just gonna be a menace, and so that's kind of the way I played it. Plus,
maybe I did. I just did it without noticing.
What was
maybe.
his ability? Had something as a rage sort of thing, right? Or I can't even remember.
It might
Slow
have been
time, maybe.
it might have been because he had
shooting?
those missions that you could do where time would slow down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, I feel like I was
with the aliens.
yeah. I feel like I played most as him, as someone that would go around and murder people like a loser. So
yeah, I played it the same. I actually was not a huge fan of the 3 playable characters.
But I kept Michael more as a businessy.
The business guy.
Yeah.
Sure.
Anyway,
I don't know.
thought I'd get your take.
I don't know. I felt it was kind of annoying. I thought it was interesting from a narrative part.
Yeah.
And that was fine. But I felt it was kind of annoying.
Yeah, it was a cool concept. It was definitely something Rockstar would do or could pull off in a good way, and I feel like they did that. But yeah, you're right. I almost appreciated just one character, and not having to jump.
They did a very nice job balancing the 3.
Yeah,
they made it very seamless and very cool.
Oh yeah, it was.
So
cool.
they did it, but which is kind of interesting to say that because I've been so hyped about the Watch Dogs Legion game where you have 20,
right,
and you can play as anybody, but it's probably a little bit of a different experience, I guess. You want to talk about PlayStation? We're going to close out the show with PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo. You want to talk about PlayStation?
Yeah. Let's
EA
talk about
Access is going to launch July 24th. The service offers Play First trials where you can play up to 10 hours of newly launched titles. And I would say that is plenty of time to decide if you want to buy it or not. You also receive a 10% discount on everything in the store. It costs $5 a month or $30 a year, and your subscription does not carry over from Xbox. So if you have a subscription on Xbox and you also have a PS4, it doesn't cover both. You have to get it.
Makes sense.
You have to get it separately. And then the PlayStation Plus games.
Yeah.
Are you excited about any of these? Pro Evolution Soccer 2019 and Horizon Chase Turbo.
No.
No?
No.
Oh, darn.
They are
I'm sorry, but they are missing the mark on almost every single month with these games.
I mean, Borderlands 2 was great.
Well, fair, but that's like the first decent game that they've done in how long? Exactly.
I mean, it's well, okay, so here's the thing about PS3 is, well, I mean, there were so many gems out there,
Sure.
you know, like games that we hadn't bought yet, but I feel like when a good game finally does come to PS Plus, I already bought it on PS4.
I guess.
So then,
Because I don't even remember having the feeling of like, oh, that game's free, I shouldn't have bought it or whatever. Like, I already bought that game. I don't remember having that feeling.
yeah, but usually when it gets to that point, it's a few years down the road.
That's fair.
So
I don't know. I just think because they reduced it to where it's only PS4 games. They don't have PS3 or Vita on there anymore.
didn't they have Hitman on PS Plus?
Did
like
they?
earlier this year?
I don't know. If they did, I didn't download it.
See, I also think our way of playing has changed. You know,
Sure.
so we're not playing the free games as often.
That's true.
But I mean, we could be
Could be.
playing a lot of awesome free games. Could be playing PES 2019,
Oh yeah.
getting into some soccer,
Get that I've won a soccer game.
Pro Evolution Soccer, and Horizon Chase Turbo, which I imagine is a racing game.
It is. It's like, I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, you remember that old school racing game where you're like obviously on a road, but you're the chase cam, and then you just kind of like, it's like NES, and you're just racing. You're not necessarily racing other people, but there are other cars, and if you run into one, you like skid off and explode. Pretty sure it's like an updated version of that.
Oh, okay, great.
So,
Speaking of racing games, CTR Nitro.
have you played it?
No, but
I've heard it's really good.
yeah, it looks good. Looks
Yeah.
great. It also looks like it's still like it's one of those games that is easy to learn but hard to master.
Yep.
Still. So I like that.
And they also offer, like, obviously it has updated graphics, but it also offers the ability to switch it over to the old graphics and the old music, I'm pretty sure.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd really want to do that.
I
but,
wouldn't, but
Hey.
I'm sure there's some people out there. But it's kind of cool just from like an attention to detail type of thing.
Right. No, that is cool.
Xbox. Games with gold.
Yeah.
Let's see the comparison here. You're getting Inside,
Yeah.
which is a great game. Already, out of the games that are here, Inside is the best. And Big Crown Showdown. No idea what that game is. I saw that I saw this article on IGN, and in their article they were like, we did not review that game. So that tells you anything. And then they still have 360 on their list, and they're getting Castlevania Symphony of the Night,
That sounds cool.
which is awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So yeah, I think Xbox out of those games is better because of only Inside. And if you're still playing on 360, obviously Castlevania is way better than all of that. So,
Right.
but yeah. So Nintendo. Last topic of the day.
Yeah.
Nintendo. We don't talk about Nintendo a lot, but we should.
When we do, we shit on them.
That's true. But we shouldn't, because their console is arguably the second best console on the market right now.
Yeah.
So, for what that's worth. Nintendo recently reaffirmed their stance on censoring games on their platform, which is in direct contrast to what PlayStation has been doing, which includes Sony pressuring developers to censor their games, or they won't be able to sell them on the console. So Nintendo is basically saying we have parental controls that allow people to limit what is on their console, what is playable on their console.
So Nintendo don't censor.
Good Lord. Just so everyone knows, he said that with a lot of A lot of sass.
Yeah.
A lot of sass in the body language. Most of the games affected are largely Japanese releases, but Dead or Alive is one of the games that probably a lot of people in America would recognize, being one that is censored.
For the boob physics?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
never noticed that, to be honest.
Never?
Yeah.
I think the fact that you have played a Dead or Alive game at all tells me that that's a lie. No one plays that game because it's a good fighting game.
Oh, it's one of the best, Jordan.
No. It's not. It's terrible.
Like, yeah, you can throw punches and stuff.
Yeah.
And when they connect.
Yes.
yeah.
The body slams.
Yeah.
The grappling mechanics.
Right.
Is that where we're getting at here?
Yep.
A little bit of the ground and pound.
They also have Dead or Alive volleyball games, right?
Yeah, they do. I mean,
but yeah,
no one plays that game.
That is interesting. Family-friendly Nintendo.
Yeah.
Kid game Nintendo. Also wants to capture that other side of the market, you know?
Yeah. Well, and that it's something that Sony, like, those were type of games that you could play on PlayStation.
Yeah.
And now, for whatever reason, Sony's like, nope, not anymore. So, like, there's, I can't remember exactly, again, it was like a Japanese release game. But in the article, they were talking about it, and they were saying how Sony pressured this company to, like, there was a part in the game where you, like, lift up a girl, and she has a skirt on. And you get to see everything, apparently. And... and they had the developer had to implement like these like light rays in strategic spots in order to cover up what was going on there. And apparently, I haven't seen footage or anything of it, but apparently it looks quite hilarious. And that's exclusive to the PlayStation console. So yeah. So they're having to alter their games
right
to appease Sony. But yeah, it is very interesting that Nintendo has the stance that they have and Sony has their stance. Yeah. And then you go onto Steam and good lord.
Yeah.
It's even worse. It's terrible.
I mean, yeah, video games.
I mean, just let people do what they want. It's a video game.
Right. Don't you feel bad doing bad stuff in GTA though? Like, you know, hooking up with a prostitute,
and then getting out and then beating them up.
Someone like walks in and you're like, like, oh God, this is embarrassing.
Oh, you mean walking in like in real life?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe when I was like a kid, but right now, like no.
Okay.
I just say, hey, it's part of the game.
Yeah, this is the kind of shit I'm playing.
I mean, I don't know if it's the way that it works now, but the way that it worked in the past, getting together with a prostitute increased your health.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm pretty sure even if you had max health, it gave you armor.
Yeah, and then afterwards you got your money back.
Yeah,
because that's. I mean, you can't just let her walk away with that.
Yeah, you
that
get
extra.
Take out your little
$25 or whatever.
Take out your bat, just smack her with it, and then.
We're not endorsing any of this behavior.
God,
that's
no.
awful. Don't play that way. Just let the nice lady leave with your money.
She earned it.
Yeah.
She gave you health and armor.
Yeah.
Let her have your $500.
Yeah. I don't even think it was that much.
Your next mission will quadruple that.
Exactly.
Promise. So, but yeah, that's all the news for this week.
That is all the news.
I gotta say, Destiny. I'm back. Like, I can't tell you how excited I am to play Destiny.
Yeah, I'm sure you could.
The Lumina, a new exotic hand cannon that heals allies and buffs them, came out today. I'm gonna try to grind for that tomorrow.
Yeah, Lumina sounds cool.
It is. It is very cool.
I'm sure it is.
What? One of these days, I'm going to get you.
Back into Destiny.
Back into Destiny. You know, Shadow keeps right around the corner.
I'm going to be like, I'm back.
You have to be on PC though.
Yeah.
I'm not going to console.
Is it going to be? It's cross-platform, right?
No, they haven't said that it is.
Oh.
It's cross save.
Yeah. Oh, that's it.
Yes, it's cross save, but they
Damn.
haven't said cross platform yet.
That
I don't actually. I think they have answered that question. That it's not going to be cross platform, but it is something that they're aware that the player base wants with their game, but they have so much going on right now
I feel
that
like
they can't do it.
if they're going to go into a sort of free-to-play-ish model, they need to do that. That would be huge.
I think it's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
I think it's 100% going to happen eventually.
I mean, it's just crazy to think that this is happening. That
Yeah.
cross-platform, like it's almost
This is something like going
You
back
dreamed
to
of.
Yeah, this is something as like an Xbox 360 PS3 player, you would be like, man, wouldn't it just be great?
and you dreamed of, and you just came to the realization, like the sad realization. that you're like,
Sony, they're never going to do that.
this is never gonna happen.
They want people to buy their consoles.
Yeah, and so you were just convinced that that was a pipe dream.
Yep.
Never gonna happen. And then maybe sometimes you'd get the PC console
Yep.
cross-platform play, but you never would see Xbox and PlayStation
You
together.
could almost thank Microsoft because of their games are available on their console as well as PC. That huge market is becoming accustomed to being able to do that.
Yeah.
And now, like, once Microsoft and Nintendo became friends with it, now it's just Sony on this island. Like, okay, well, we're doing it.
But Sony's been doing, or I mean, they haven't been against console and PC crossplay.
Right.
But
Final Fantasy 14, Rocket League.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, Fortnite, they were doing that.
Fortnite. Well, it took them a minute to finally be okay with it.
Whoa, no, yeah, I was Fortnite PC
Oh, right.
PS4 thing,
Yes.
and mobile.
Right.
But-
Fair.
Yeah, they were pretty hesitant about opening up to the other consoles.
That's
Which
true.
I think going into next gen, it's almost going to be standard. Like,
Has to be.
Has to be. At this point, there's too many games that are cross-platform. It's obviously you're playing favorites, so
Right.
just break it. Just let everyone do it. Be
Yeah.
awesome.
So yeah,
Yeah, that'll wrap us up.
that's
for this
gonna
week,
that's
folks.
gonna wrap us up.
So, like usual, I mean, if you want to hear us next week, you know where to find us. You hit
You
the
do.
follow button, hit that subscribe button, you get a little notification so you don't miss an episode. You got to tell all your friends, your family, whoever you know.
All of them.
Whatever nerds. Actually, let's broaden the scope. Let's start telling hobos on the streets.
Go up to a total stranger. This is the challenge of the week. Total stranger. Be like, hey, do you listen to the loading screen?
Yeah.
If they say no, you pull out your phone. You show them the loading screen. You say, these guys.
And then you make them listen to it right there.
Right there.
Hang out with them for a full 45 minutes.
You sit down at a table. You are just staring at them the entire time.
Right. Hold them hostage.
Right.
Actually, let's not do any of this.
Well, that's a bad way to put it.
Yeah.
You're not holding them hostage. Soon after they begin listening, they will be a willing participant in this weird exchange.
Right.
They'll be like, wow, thank you for bettering my life.
Yep.
So yeah, just tell everybody.
Yeah. Hobos.
So if you want to be a part of the show, we've already told you how to listen to our show. I mean, we're on iTunes, we're on Spotify, we're everywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere that you could pretty much find, we're there. If you want to be a part of the show, there are now two ways. You can email us at thisistheloadingscreen@gmail.com, just like our good friend David did. Fantastic question. Or you could follow us on Twitter
Yeah.
at loadingscreenpc. And you can send us quick tweets.
Yeah. Tweets. Be like, hey, where's the episode?
Right. What the hell's taking so long?
Yeah.
Like, if that's easier for you, that's why it's there.
Exactly.
And I'll read those too. It doesn't have to be an email. It doesn't have to be a correction. It could be literally about anything.
There's a character limit, so Keep it nice and sweet.
Yeah. There's also a report button that I could push if it's inappropriate.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, I hope you, Aaron, and I hope everyone else has a good July 4th.
Yep.
Because we won't talk to you until next week.
Keep your fingers, by the way,
Keep 'em.
so you can play video games.
Every year, an NFL player seems to lose their hand
Yeah.
in a firework.
Don't be
accident.
stupid around fireworks.
Right.
It's
Don't
not worth
hold them
it.
in your hand as you
No,
light them.
that is so stupid. I can't believe I have to tell people
It's
not
an
to hold
explosive.
explosives.
It's an explosive.
Fireworks are cool. They're fun. I get it. But keeping your fingers is pretty cool too.
Right.
So think about that. Be safe.
Yeah, because if you lose fingers and a hand or whatever, you can't play video games.
Right. You're probably not going to go pro in
Farming Simulator. Your dreams are dashed.
Right.
You don't want that to happen.
Yeah. Don't do that.
So
But anyway, until next week.
until next week, goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.